Hi, this week I want to use this rose pot mould. I've used this before, just the lid, but I haven't poured the entire pot, so I want to do that now, and I think it's perfect for a Valentine's video. I've got these nail powders, and I'll link those in the description box below, but I'm going to use this kind of goldy one. And I only want a tiny bit. I want to get down into the folds, or the top of the petals it will be. So I'm only really going to use very small amounts. I've got a small makeup brush, and I'm just going to hopefully put touches of gold just along the top of the petals. Perfect just to get in these little areas. See if I can zoom that in for you. There you go, you can see. So I'm just going to carry on doing that, going around and popping all the petals. Right, I also have some plum chameleon powder, and I want to use that to brush onto the rest of the mould. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Right, I want to paint the leaves on the inside of here. They only go down as far as there, they're just on the edge here, so I think I can paint them without actually turning this pot inside out and risking transferring the mica powder. So I've just put a little bit of alcohol into a pot, and I'm going to pop a little bit of the mica in there. I'll just use the end of my brush to stir that around. I'm just going to paint in there and leave the mica behind. And that way I hope I won't be able to, well, I hope I won't actually get any mica anywhere other than the leaves. So I just need to be very careful that I don't push it against the center. Move around to the next leaf. And paint in there. And then I'm just going to let that dry off a little bit before I move it around, because I don't want it running everywhere. So I'm going to carry on doing that all the way round, and I will be back once I've finished. I'm adding some rose red Arteza mica to some craft resin epoxy which I've mixed up. I mixed up 250 mils, it's a 1-to-1, and I've taken out some and put it into a smaller pot, and that's what I'm mixing this mica powder into. So I'll give it a good stir, and I've sped this up. This isn't how fast I'm doing it. I want to incorporate all the powder and make sure that the colour goes all the way through and it's not streaky. And once I have this all mixed up, you can see it's a beautiful colour. I'm just going to clean off my stick, and then I can pour this into the pot. I'm just tapping just to bring up any bubbles that might be there. I don't have a debubbler, so I'm pouring it a little bit from a height, trying to get it down into the cracks and the folds of the petals. I don't want to put a stick in there because I don't want to move any of the mica powder off the surface after brushing it in there. But I will pick the mould up and try and give it a squeeze and roll it around, just trying to fill any of the petals. They do sort of go outwards, fold over and go outwards, so they overhang. I'm squeezing now just to try and get the resin just to coat all of the insides and squeeze out any bubbles. and then I will carry on filling this up. I'm not going to use all of this resin in just the lid. I do want to put some actually in the base pot because the petals continue just on the top of the actual mould. I don't want this to run down the outside where I've got the leaves, so I'm pouring it only on the centre portion and letting it run down the sides, and that will then pull into the petals that are at the base there. So again, I want to try and gently squeeze those. Now I need to be careful. I don't want to transfer the green mica powder onto that centre section. So I just rolled it around a little bit, and then I will fill that up a little bit more. And I only want the pink to be at the bottom. I'm going to pour some clear resin in the rest of it. I'll just scrape my pot out, try and use up every bit. I'd made a guess as to how much I would actually need. I didn't measure this mould before I poured it, so I'm hoping that I will have enough. Scrape the rest of that out. And now I can use the clear to top up this piece first. And again, I'm just pouring on that center section and letting it run down. So I'll keep filling this mold up slowly. And once I have what I think is enough in there, I can use the rest in the lid. And as I say, I did 250 mils and I had a little bit left over. So now I just need to wait for them to cure and then I can demold them. Okay, these are all cured now. But before I demold these, I just wanted to show you that the leftover mica that I mixed with the alcohol has completely evaporated. And the mica's returned to a powder form. So I can just crush this back up again and pop that back into my pot. I'll do that in a little bit. Right, let's see if I can get these out now. So I have got a bit of a bubble there that's risen to the surface. Let's see if I can pop this out of the mould. Ooh, immediately I think I found a good chunky bubble, so I forgot to go around the inside to remove the bubbles. Look at this, it's huge. Ouch, it's also very sharp. It's not the easiest thing to demold, so try and get an edge off and then roll back the rest of the lid. Come on. There we go. Okay, so you can just about see the gold powder that I put in there. I do have a few bubbles along here and some along there. It's not too bad though. It's just this very long piece along here, which I'll fill with some UV resin in a little bit. Right, let's see if I can get this out. Now, this is the first time I've poured this bottom section, so I don't know how this is going to work to get out. Roll it all back.
Try and pull it over one of the petals. Sorry, I had to just pull that closer to me for a minute. Okay. And let's twist the center out. Okay, so I got some of the green traveling in there, but I actually think that's pretty good. I do have some bubbles as well in there. I think that's unavoidable. I don't have a bubble removing machine, so there are a few bubbles just around the edge here too. Let's pop the lid in. I think that's really pretty. So I need to clean this edge up because it's very sharp. So let me just grab hold of, just got a craft knife here. If you've got a deburring tool, then use that. And I'm just going to take this sharp edge off. Better. Okay, so some of the green, I did put the mica powder on quite thick. I think maybe I shouldn't have done it quite thick. So some of the green has traveled down into the rest of it. I don't mind that so much. It does look like the blemishes that you can sometimes get in a flower. I wish I had more of the gold powder along this edge, but I actually love this. It's a really pretty pot. I like the shape of it, and there's a decent amount of space in the middle for putting some things in there. Yeah, really pretty. Okay, so I have a really long bubble in this, and I'm just going to fill that with a little bit of UV resin, try and repair it. Smooth that around, then I'm going to cure that. Okay, I'm just going to add a little bit more. This will make it not quite so sharp. I mean, it will still be obvious because I did not bother to put the mica powder in there to match. Okay, because this part is really shiny and the rest of it's matte, and I do have a few bubbles in there, I've decided to put some UV resin over the whole of this surface and just smooth it around. I'm just going to use my finger actually and make it all look the same. Okay, where I've got a lot of these green patches where the mica flaked off from my leaves, I'm just going to use a chrome marker and cover some of the worst patches. Just put a small blob of gold. I'd rather have gold than green, so I won't do it to all of them, but I will just add some on the worst areas, or at least where they're most prominent. So I'm just going to carry on going around, just dotting on top of the mica. And I think that's all I'm going to do. But I do want to carry that over onto this part, so I will just put again a few dots mostly where I've got holes and things, to try and sort of disguise them a little bit. I haven't got that many holes, to be honest. Whoops, sorry, that's my camera. Okay, I think that's probably enough. Put the lid back on. And there we go, all finished. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give me a thumbs up and comment. What colour would you do? I like the rhubarb and custard roses, as they're called. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. I would love it if you would. I will be back tomorrow with a Valentine's collaboration with Mini Scenes GB and Crafty YouTubers United. So please come join us for that. Thanks again. Bye.